Hello everybody. Okay, welcome to the very first Jan's World. I wasn't going to do a review. I wasn't going to do anything today, but circumstances happened and I thought it would be a good idea to start tonight. Bit tired, I've had a busy old day, but I'm here. By the title, you'll know what I want to talk about, what I am going to talk about. It's a very serious issue. It's not one that I've got a chip on my shoulder about. I do not have a chip on my shoulder. Never have done, never will have. Right. I'm just checking to see if I'm actually live. Okay. I'm live. Okay, so we're going to talk about something quite serious, but it's something also that as a family we joke about. Mainly because, evening Rye, mainly because in my family we have all different, God, I can't think now. All different nationalities in my family. We have English, we have West Indian, we have Irish, we have Greek. Who have I forgotten? I think that's it. That's just in my family. So, racism, hi Ollie! Racism is something that I think probably all of us have encountered over the years, but it's not something that makes us necessarily angry. It's not top of our agenda sort of thing. So I wanted to have this discussion with you about what you think racism is. Just 1 second. It's my daughter. Oh, well, I'm on live now, darling.
Yeah, but you've got echo. You've got a huge echo.
Yeah, what have you come in on? My daughter says there's an echo. Is there an echo in here, guys? Can you tell me if there's an echo where you're watching? Here's my daughter.
It's okay now.
Yeah, it's probably your end, sweetheart. Here she is. Where's Mason? He's going to be gutted. Anyway, it's...
Okay,
Are you going to come in and watch, or do you want to have a bit of a discussion about it? Watch it and then phone me back and we'll discuss what happened today.
Okay.
All right then, babe. Bye. Right. Okay. Sorry about that. That's my daughter. She said there was an echo. Anyway, so I wanted to put the question out. What is racism? The problem with today's life, if you like, is that so many people use words. They throw them about willy-nilly, and that only causes to dilute that actual word. I think what happens is, especially with bullying, I don't think it does so much with racism, but the thing I can think about is like with bullying, and when people say, oh, you know, he's a bully. I mean, it's something that's brandished about everywhere, particularly online. Hi, Brandon, where people use the word bully, but it doesn't really mean bully, in my opinion. I can only go by my opinion. There are instances where people aren't being bullies, but they're accused of it because people brandish that word about, and it's lost its true meaning. Anyway, getting back to racism, the reason why I brought it up tonight is because I was on Facebook. I hate Facebook. But I go on it as a YouTuber because I want to I want to sort of get out there more, and everyone says, oh, you should be on YouTube, you should be on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. So I go on it, don't like it, but I go into the Facebook small YouTuber community. So today, hi, Bone. Is that your name? Anyway, so I was in there today, and I'm not going to give this guy's name, but I am going to show you some of the things and read out to you some of the things that he said to me. And what I'd like you to do is tell me whether you feel it's racist or not. So I'm just looking through, I was having a nice day, I was looking through Facebook, and I came across this post, and basically it was him. Now let me give you a bit of a background about this guy. This guy talks a lot on this Facebook page, on this group, and a little while ago, I'd asked him, actually, because I'd seen that he does reviews of people's channels, and I thought, do you know what? This would be quite a good idea to ask him to look at my channel to give me some advice. So I asked him, and the advice he gave me, I'm sure he meant well with it, and that was fine, you know, and I said, oh, well, thanks for the advice, you know, I'll take things on board, blah, 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 blah. Interestingly, though, he did say, you may want to work on your artwork. He said, have you heard of, and then he said this software, different software. I said, oh yeah, I use it all the time on my work because I am actually an artist. Well, he soon stopped the conversation then. But anyway, I'm digressing. So today, I'm out. It was an arty-farty day. I had, I've got a exhibition at the weekend, so I had to take some art over to the venue. I've also got another shop that's having my art in it, so I had to take the stuff there. So, driving around, nice sunny day, and then I looked at Facebook. And the first thing I saw, I had to do a double take because I saw, do you think I'm going to find it? I saw this, right. It was him talking to, what am I going to go on to? No, go into, let me see, I don't know whether it's going to tell me what I said. Now, the thing is, he has since blocked me, which means I can't see any of my conversation on there. Wasn't that big of him? So, anyway, let me see if I can find it. I think I did screenshot some of it. Now, just bear with. Let me, oh, there. Right, okay. So, this was the thing I saw. Okay, can you read that? Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Now, basically, it's a video. See, this blooming light is so annoying. It stops you seeing anything, doesn't it? Anyway, so basically it says, it's somebody talking. Apparently he's, I don't want to say what his name is because it's not really his fault. And he's said, Calvin is a effing idiot. Now, above that, I saw this, which is this guy that has been Oh, you can't see it, can you? That's annoying. Anyway, so he said to this guy who did the video, oh, how's this guy's WOG accent? So I've looked at it and I thought, he's used that word. Why has he used that word? I thought, that's not very nice. So, and I've checked the name to make sure it was the same guy, because this same guy has just been made a what do they call it? A moderator on one of the groups. So he's quite well thought of. Yeah, the screen's too bright. Okay, Ollie, thanks. Let me turn this brightness down. Is that better? It's no better, Ollie. Hang on. Is that better? Oh, yeah. Okay. So that was it there. Okay. So I've looked at it and I thought, oh, that's a bit inappropriate. So I texted him and, or I messaged him and I said, you do realise that some people may find this quite offensive. And instead of him coming back and saying, oh yeah, I'm terribly sorry, you know, you're right, or whatever, he then proceeded to act like he was some sort of lord over me. Right, hang on one sec, I'll find the next one. So then, oh yeah, then the guy who did the video then said, I didn't even know it could be used to refer to black people. And then he said, this Joe said, yeah, we used it in Britain quite commonly several decades ago as a slur for black people. But like many words in this language of ours, it has multiple meanings. Really? Does it? What other meaning does it have? Anyway, then it goes on. As you know, I'm hopeless with my phone. Right. Then, I can't remember what I said. I can't remember what I then said. Oh, that's it. I said something like, well, it could be because you're not English, you know, I would accept that. But I'm just saying to you, some people may be affected by it, may be offended by it. This Joe just wouldn't let it go. So he came back with, I'm afraid I don't see your point. I can repeat words that aren't an active part of my varieties vocabulary. Not sure what he meant by that, but hey, he's Scottish. You're taking offence at something you don't even know the meaning of. If you don't like it, look away. Can you believe that? Anyway, so then, I was so incensed, and that's why I've had to do it tonight, because if I left it another night, I would have to bring it all up again, and I don't want to do that. I don't like that sort of negativity. So he's coming back with, oh, I don't know what you mean, which is a normal thing for certain people. Right, okay. And then the next bit, so I've responded to that, and I can't remember what I said. Then he's come back with this. Also, seeing as this has been up for over 24 hours and nobody except yourself has taken the time to express their outrage or disappointment, I'm going to assume that people don't really care. So you have two options now. You can continue to throw your arms up and make a big deal out of something you know nothing about, or you can get on with your day and have a nice day. So I write back to that. The last time I spoke with this guy, I write back and said, you've forgotten option 3. What do you think, guys? What do you think? I am so incensed. I then went and put the screenshots up in some of the groups because I thought this guy needs to be told that you don't go around using those words. Some people have come back to me and said, well, actually, that word in Australia means a different thing. I can accept that. But it wasn't the Australian that said it. It was the British guy that said it. So I've said this. There's a couple, you know what Facebook's like. It's, you know, there's a couple of twats that have come on. Hang on 1 second. Aska! Hang on 1 second. Aska! Come on out of there. Come on. What are you doing? Don't be naughty. Let me shut you out. Sorry, where was I? Yeah. Now, the reason I told you about my family is so that you don't think that I'm just one of these people that has a chip on their shoulder. I do not have a chip on my shoulder, but I do recognise when somebody is being racist or not. There were several people that came on and said, you know, was speaking up for him because he's got quite a following on Facebook and said, oh, he didn't mean that and he meant it the other. No, no, you don't use that word. No excuse. I don't care where you come from. And if the other guy had used it and I'd said to him, look, it's not acceptable to use that word over here because people will find it offensive, then I would have expected him to have said, oh, I'm really sorry. You know, I didn't realise that. But for this Scottish twat to think it's okay and to send me texts like that, really? Who does he think he is? He's younger than my son. So I am not happy. It's not just the racist thing. Yes, it is the racist thing. I was brought up in a home, predominantly white home. There were 2 other black girls in the home. I never faced racism until I left that home at the age of 10 and went and eventually then moved into another home. And again, I was the only brown face there. And then one day this boy called me the N-word and I lost it because I'd never been called that before, but I knew it was derogatory and I knew it wasn't very nice. So I had a punch up with him and I was about 11 or 12. And I tell you what, I really got hurt, but I was more hurt inside. The hurt that he inflicted on me didn't mean anything to me. It was the hurt. How could he call me something about something that I can't do anything about? So that was the first time I faced racism when I was about 11. I then moved on to different homes. And the next time I faced real racism was, I had a couple of times in school, secondary schools, and that was in the London area. But it was normally, weirdly, it was the black girls. I'm what's known as a coconut because I'm black on the outside and white inside because of my upbringing. I don't have any black family. I never have done. My mother was white. She didn't know my father. So I am a coconut. And I don't care. I don't see it as an insult. It's just the way I am. I grew up being told I was half-caste. I was happy being called half-caste because that's what I thought I was. But don't throw the N word at me and don't throw the W word at me because I do recognise those words and I do recognise the word wog as a name that used to be thrown at me when I was at school. So for this Scottish twat to think it's okay to use it and then to lecture me on what I do and don't know about racism, no, it's not happening. And I didn't warn him. I gave him every opportunity to apologise. All he had to say was, sorry, Jan, didn't realise, you know, that word would offend people. I mean, I didn't even say, do you realise I'm really offended by that? I didn't even say that. What I actually said was, some people will be offended by it. And then there were some cocky people on Facebook that wrote underneath my posts. There was one woman who said, oh, you shouldn't have put his name because it'll be like he's being bullied. I thought, oh, pee off. No, I will speak my mind. I do have a mind. Yeah, I'm as nutty as a fruitcake, but don't piss me off. There you go. So that's why I'm talking about it today. And I think the thing that is the most upsetting is when you get these young girls. There's this one young girl. I'm not going to slag her off because she was just defending her friend. But the thing she was coming out with, making all these different excuses. And at one point, she said, I think maybe you could have both dealt with it differently. And I wrote back, are you having a laugh? How am I meant to deal with it differently? She said, oh, well, maybe if you watched the video, you would have realised that he was calling himself that. I went, do you honestly believe I would watch that video when that guy has put that word? No, matey, no. But I'm not going to slag her off because the problem with racism is it's inbred. You know, you normally find you have racist families. There's normally like a bloodline of racism running throughout a family. So for somebody to be brought up in that, even if they're not racist themselves, they're still going to have certain parts of them that feel a certain way. It's like we're all brought up and we all act in different ways, don't we? We act in a way where we were taught to act. It's like, you know, I was brought up by white people and, you know, so to all intents and purposes, I have white running through me. I don't see that as a bad thing. The only people that saw it as a bad thing were black kids when I was at college. I went to college when I was in September. Brown as a berry. I was even browner than this. They thought I was full black. And I made lots of friends. Come January, when my tan had gone, they realised I was half caste. Do you know what? I ended up in that college with no black friends. I had Indian friends, but I didn't have any black friends because they didn't want to know me. Because I didn't know their culture. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what it was like to be black. How do I know what it's like to be black when I've been brought up by whites? So what is racism? I am not politically correct. My kids will tell you I am not politically correct. Have I used words that I shouldn't use? Yes. Yes, I have. Have I spoken derogatorily about a different race? Yes, I have. I'm not perfect. I'm not whiter than white. I'm not a bloody angel. But I do know that society has changed and I know what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable. And what isn't acceptable is actually writing the word down and then lying about it. If this boy had to, I'm saying a boy, he's about, I don't know what he is, early 20s maybe? Where's a kilt? Anyway, if he had turned round and said to me, oh God, Jan, I am sorry. Yeah, I can see that it would be insulting. I am sorry. That would have been the end of it. But the thing that turned it and twisted the knife was when he had the nerve to say to me, what do I know about it? Oh, that's another thing. I watch a lot of YouTubers. I watch black, white, Spanish, Italian, German, gay. I don't know if I watch any lesbians, but anyway, that's by the by. So I learn different things. I learn different sayings, what people call each other, blah, blah, blah. I know a lot of the black YouTubers use the N-word. Do I use the N-word? No, I never have. Have I ever had black friends who have used the N-word? Yeah, I have. And they've used it towards me. But I wasn't offended by it because that's just the way they speak. Got hair. So, when I had to explain the post so many times, and because it was like, oh, I don't understand what you're talking about. So anyway, I went back over it and explained it, and this girl came back and she went, oh, I've forgotten what she said now. This whiter than white girl came back and said, and I said, I think you will find that POC, which is people of colour, which is what I've seen all over YouTube, and yeah, it might just be black people that use it. I don't know, but they do use POC. So I used that. I said, well, to be honest with you, I think POC are going to not like this, you know. So she's like, well, I think so you using that term could be quite offensive to people of colour. They might not like it. So do you know what? I'm not even going to argue with you, girlie, because you do not have a clue. Not a clue. So, I've had a bit of a rant. I'm going to have a look at what you guys have been saying and then maybe have a few more stories. Nice to see you all on. Thank you so much for coming. So, Raya said, my sister's daughter's mixed race. She's had some racism at school already. Good grief, it starts early, doesn't it, Rye? That's dreadful. Do you know, it's funny. My grandchildren can pass as white because my kids are all different shades. My eldest son is more my shade. My youngest son is like Spanish, as is my second daughter, and my eldest daughter is blonde, blue eyes. Now, my grandson, who is nearly 6, is conscious of the age, is conscious of the colour thing, but he's trying to work it all out in his own head. And, and I remember once he said something like, oh, Nanny, you've got a brown skin, haven't you, Nanny? And I said, yes, I have, darling. Aren't I lucky? And I just mess about like that. That's how we are in our family. As I said, we don't have chips on our shoulder about race. There's no point. Anyway, so then he's made friends with this little boy at school, a little black boy. So I said to him one day, I said, he said, oh, I've got a new best friend at school, Nanny. So I said, who's that? And he told me the little boy's name. He said, he's got a very brown face, Nanny. I said, oh, wow, has he? I said, but you get on so well, don't you? Yeah, we do, Nanny. And he does. They're like that. I have put some pictures up, actually, on Instagram because they are the best friends. But having said that, he's aware of racism. He's aware of race, but he's not a racist. You know, now if he was in a purely white family and he was to say that, oh, mummy, you know, there's a little boy at school that wants to be my friend, and he's got very brown skin, mummy. You imagine if the mum turned around and said, oh no, you don't want to go near him. That is racism. So I'm really sorry to hear about that, Rye. I hope she deals with it okay, and let the school know. That's what I would say. Let the school know. I'm reading the comments. Thank you, Ollie. Yeah, I agree. Ollie has said, obviously, if he's using words like that, he's the one that doesn't understand the severity of those words. Absolutely. Hi, Dwayne. Yeah, Facebook is full of nasty people. Yeah. You know, guys, don't feel sorry for me. It's just a fact of life, really, and it's something that you live with. And you know, it's all well and good the powers that be saying, oh, there's no racism. We know there is, because, you know, instances like what happened today just reiterate it, and you just know. It's like my son's in a band, he's the same colour as me. And, you know, he's fine when he plays gigs in all, you know, the big cities and everything, the big towns. But there have been places he's played gigs where he's had a second look. People have given him a second look because of the colour of his skin. That is racism. But it's something you live with when you're born with a bit of black in you. And it's not just black, you know, it's all different nationalities. Yeah, Ollie's made a point saying that you listen to any popular music nowadays and they use the N-word. I've never, ever used the N-word. It's just not in my vocabulary. But, you know, I've been around people that use it and I don't find it offensive, because as long as they're black. If they were white, that would be a different thing. Yeah, I think the girl actually, Ollie, was just trying to stand up for her friend, because I know they're friends. But you know, she was trying to be intelligent and give her point, and everybody's entitled to give their opinion. Everybody's entitled to say what they like. It's a free country, but you have to be accountable for it. And I'd like to see him use that word when he's walking down blooming Brixton High Street or anywhere else where there's a big cultural difference to what he is. Hey, Ben. Yeah, I agree with you there, Brandon. Racism at most schools have racism policies, which is nice to see, but that won't stop the bullies. That's true. Nothing will stop the bullies. I think it's human nature. I really do. I think there's mean people everywhere, and if they're not going to pick on you for one thing, they're going to pick on you for something else. And, you know, having a disability or having a different coloured skin or speaking in a different language just makes it easier for people to pick on you. Well, for certain people to pick on you. I can honestly say I was never bullied at school. Never. And I wasn't a bully. I just did my own thing. I was a bit of a fighter because in the home there were some very vulnerable children that went to the same school that I went to. So because I was a bit of a toughie and not scared of anyone, if they had problems, they would come to me and say, "Oh, so-and-so said something to me today," and I'd go and have a fight. I didn't always win, but normally I did. The one time when I know that I didn't win, oh God, was when I had a fight with this big black girl in a school in Hendon. Oh, she nearly killed me. Good grief. I don't know what the argument was about, but she had me by the hair and would not let go. But what used to happen was I always used to cry out of anger and frustration. Even if I won, I'd still end up in tears. But I remember the pain of that fight. Right, I'm really sorry to hear you were bullied, darling. Can we talk about that another time? Because I want to stay onto the racism if possible. So guys, those of you that are in here, would you say that what happened today was racist, or was I being too oversensitive? What would you say? Write it in the comments so I can read. Someone, this guy, I mean, I did show you the piece of paper there, but when he said, "Oh yeah, well, it's an old word we used to use back in the day," like that makes it okay. Does it? That's the word that when I did start being shouted out, that I was different to everybody else, that was the word that I used to hear. So that's okay then. Because they don't use it nowadays, and because the Australians apparently use it for anybody that's not Australian, then that makes it okay. No, it doesn't. So I've got two people saying it was racist. It was one saying it was minor racism. Yes. The thing I think that made it more racist is the fact that he argued with me. Do you see what I mean? If he'd have said, "Oh God, I didn't realise. Oh, I'm so sorry," which I would do. I would do that if I used a word and it offended somebody. Then I'd be like, "Oh God, I'm so sorry. I was married to an Irishman." And I always refer to them as pikeys. Until one day he said to me, "You do realise that that's very offensive, that word?" And I was like, "Oh, God, is it? I didn't realise." I never used it again. Not in his company. Okay, Ollie, that's interesting. Ollie says, "I don't think that the person had racist intent. He's using words that are part of a vocabulary he doesn't understand and probably isn't prejudiced." But then, yeah, okay, I accept that, Ollie. But then why argue with me afterwards? If he didn't mean it, then why come back to me the way he did? Why not just hold his hands up and say, "I'm so sorry I offended you"? If I thought I offended somebody, then I would apologise. That's the natural thing for me to do. That's the automatic thing for me to do. Is it youth culture, Ollie? I'm not sure if it's youth culture. I would say there's probably quite a few old people that use that word behind closed doors. And to be honest, we ain't going to change that. They're going to continue to use it. The same as they're going to continue to use the N-word. But they need to learn to be accountable. And if you say something like that and somebody comes up to you and says to you, I'm offended by that, apologise. That's the most obvious thing to do. It just makes common sense to me. Some idiot on Facebook, when I put POC, he came back and said, oh, what does that mean? Piece of crap. And this big black guy came on and he went, hang on, I must see. I bet I must try and find that. Hang on, let me see if I can find that. I probably won't. You know, I wasn't responding to idiots on there. Hang on a second. Let's have a look and see if we've had any more updates on there. Okay, it's kicking off. Okay, so right, so we've got this white guy. Okay. Okay, let's turn it. No, I'll just read it to you. So I've put to this blondie girl, why in God's name? Thanks, Eddie. I've put, well, he's obviously, okay, all right. Let's all send Eddie some love. He obviously needs it. Anyway, so I've put to this girl when she said, well, why don't you just, you know, watch the video? And I put, why in God's name would I want to watch something like that? I realise you are a friend of his, but please. So then I put, have you heard the saying, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, perchance? So then this guy's come up and he's gone, you realise by you making this big deal that video is getting more views. I didn't even bother responding to that. I couldn't give a toss if it's getting more views. And then this other guy, James Herbert, great name, says, does POC mean piece of crap? And then this big black guy's come on and he's put, person of colour. Any more dumb questions, bro? So I put, I tend to ignore the morons. Then, oh, James Herbert comes back again. Just sounds like a great waste of time on everyone's part, to be honest. Never heard POC in all my life, personally. That's probably because he's white. Then Blondie has come on again. Wow, she is literally live on YouTube, slagging me off right now. Oh, that was 18 minutes ago. Hi, Blondie. Right, guys, did I slag Blondie off? No, I didn't think I did. I said she was actually quite a sweet girl, but because she was a friend of Joe McClellan, whatever his name is, she kept coming back with things that were inappropriate. So she's now saying that I'm slagging her off. Okay. So then James Herbert, oh Herbie rides again, says, wow, no kidding, link. So then he comes back. POC is an American and Canadian acronym. Acronym. No wonder I haven't heard of it. So then somebody, oh yeah, and then they put the link on. Yay. Yay. Do you know what? I really could not give a monkey's. Then, oh, James Herbert's been in. Talking shit about Sasha seems a bit much. Don't really see what she's done wrong. Actually, don't even know why people are offended. Can we stop throwing around silly acronyms? Or acronyms? James Herbert. Saying the N-word is using it. And then that sort of wink, laugh thing. What the F is this? I think James Herbert needs to go and have some sherbet. Over there. Then the big black guys come back on. I actually take offence to your bullshit attitude and insensitivity. Oh, F out of here, bro. Just let it go. And then James Herbert Sherbert has got, let it go, let it go. Da, 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 da. Right, oh, and he's still at it. Oh, James Herbert. Right, isn't it ironic? I've never heard of a term before and I'm being insulted because of it. It seems to me the ones who are taking offence in this group are the ones who like to insult others. I've not insulted anybody. This is what I mean about dislike ignoring morons. She seems to be paying a lot of attention to me. Yes, I am. Oh, and someone else has come on, and so it goes on and on and on. And my friend, Dikembe Davidson, is the black guy. Bless him. Do you know, I wouldn't even bother even talking to them. Has just said this. So just because you never heard of it makes it okay for you to just pass it as irrelevant. F no. Common decency would have told you to just keep moving. You didn't have to comment, period. And then this girl here, that was your comment. So it goes on, and we got loads and loads and loads. Loads and loads and loads. So, what is racism? Hi, Mason. How are you, darling? Do you know what, Mason? I'm fine. I just wanted to get on here and just talk about it. As I said, this midweek live stream was going to be on, fairly serious topics. I wasn't expecting to be sat here talking about racism, but I've had to because of what happened earlier. Why should I sit here and not say anything? Why should I? In all my life, some girl came responded and said, well done, Jan. I'm really glad you're speaking up because I'm fed up. We normally have to keep silent about things. Well, I don't keep silent about anything. If I want to say something, I'll bloody say it. And I don't care what you say about Facebook, say about me on Facebook. I couldn't give a monkey's what people say about me on Facebook. I know what's right and I know what's wrong. And what I've learnt, sadly, is that in the groups I was in, they're all youngsters and silly on there. And, they're not going to want to listen to me. And that's fair enough. I don't care. I'm not their demographic and they're not mine. That's fine. But then if they're going to write wog on something, I'm going to say something, whether they like it or not. No one shushes me, and people that know me know that. Don't shush me. I'm not easily scared and I won't be scared. And I know this guy has blocked me, and he's a moderator, and I think he's a moderator on 2 of the groups, on, Small YouTubers Boost, and Small YouTubers, what's the other one? Community, something like that. Well, let them say it, I don't care if I don't go back in there again. I wasn't their demographic anyway. They all used to talk about amongst themselves anyway. So, they're all saying, oh, well, we like to support each other. I put things that I didn't hear a blooming thing. Never heard a word. Because I'm an old lady. But that doesn't bother me. But, don't say something about colour and think you can get away with it, because I won't have it. I never have done and I never will. And that to me is racist. The whole thing is racist when you cover up for different people. I know. Anyway, guys, is there anything else you wanted to share with me? I think I've gone over everything. I actually made little notes today. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to say. So, boys, don't be drawn into ugliness with people. You know, it's not worth it. We're a nice, tight little group. Don't be drawn in by them. And don't get upset. And don't be upset for me. Honestly, I'm perfectly fine. I can assure you. Let me show you something funny. Okay? I went onto Facebook. My daughter had put on... I put on the picture saying that I was going live. So I said to her, are you going to come on live with me? I said, I'm talking racism. Let me show you what my family is really like. Right, okay. So I put this on there. Let's get rid of that. So I put that on there. Oh, hang on. Hang on a minute. Right, oh, you know. Right, so, oh, too bright again, isn't it? Let's sort this out. Right, is that better? Oh, I've done, oh. Right, okay. So I put that and said, oh, fancy coming in? She's gone, I don't believe in mixed race relationships. That's my daughter. And then she sent me that. Because we laugh about it. We have a laugh. We don't have chips on our shoulders. That is the kind of family we are. And I would rather be in my kind of family where we don't care what colour walks through the door. We really don't. I remember saying to my kids as they were growing up, I don't care what nationality you bring home as long as they are nice to you. That's all that matters to us, and they know that. In fact, my eldest boy has been with a Nigerian girl for the last 5 years. So we have got so many races in our family, and I do feel that if that was the case in most of the families in Britain, I know it's the case in quite a few of them nowadays, but I think if it was more so, then racism would be wiped out. But then it'd probably be on something else. It'd be like everyone doesn't like people who wear glasses. Do you know what I mean? There's racism of all sorts. It's not just black and white, you know. I've got an Asian friend, a very, very good Pakistani friend, and she uses the P word all the time. And, you know, but I would never use it. I don't use it. Even when I'm talking to her, she may have used it in the conversation, because even in their language, it is a derogatory term about a certain kind of Pakistani. So she may use it when she's talking to me, but I would never use it. I don't feel I've got the right to use it. And I think it's the same with the N-word. I can use it. If I was with a load of black people, I could use it. But I don't. It's not in my vocabulary. And the same as the W word. I wouldn't use that either. But, yeah, and I remember the first time she said it, I sort of looked at her and went, what? I can't believe you said that. So going back to, we're nearly at the end of this video. What was that you were saying? Mason, you missed. Oh, yeah, Mason. Joe, if you're watching, Bubs, will you phone me? Mason's on. You'll make his day. Let me see if I can phone her. Hang on a minute. I think she's watching this. Let me see if she'll let me phone her. Oh. Where is she? Probably end up phoning the wrong daughter. She'll be like, what? What, Mum? Right, okay, let's see.
Please leave a message.
Joe, can you pick the phone up? Let's see if she... Oh, no. Oh. Right, hang on a minute. Let's see if I can get her.
Please leave a message.
What time is it? No, it looks like your luck's gone. So, that was my first Jan's World video. Or chat. If anyone has got anything else they'd like to say, something they're not sure about, what they would find offensive. What was that bit, Rye, you've said? I agree, Ollie. What is that? Oh, you're such a lovely group, aren't you? I'll try again, but I don't think she's around. It says she was active 6... Oh, hang on. Hello, darling.
Hi, Ma, hang on.
I'm on live. I'm on live, Babs. I'm on live, Babs.
Oh.
You're right.
Dad.
Say hello. There she is.
Can you have warned me?
Well, I said to you to phone me back, didn't I? I said, come into the chat. We've had a really good chat about racism.
I watched it, but it wouldn't let me type anything.
Right. You guys, does she need... Here she is. Does she need to join YouTube in order to comment? Or can she just come on and comment? What did you think of it, Bubs? What did you think about what happened today?
Yeah, well, nothing surprises me, Mother.
No, I know. And, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, make a big deal out of it. Like some people are like, oh, you're just making a big deal. No, it's what happened. And I have to put up with it. And we all put up with it, don't we? Joe,
Yeah.
do Mason a big favour and say hi, Mason.
Oh, look at my hair, for God's sake.
It looks...
You know what?
It looks gorgeous, darling.
Please.
Yeah, you need to join YouTube. You need to join YouTube to comment.
I have. I already have.
You need a profile to comment on my video.
I actually rejoined when I was listening to you, but it still wouldn't let me type.
Oh, I haven't blocked you, have I?
Ow. Possibly.
Right, please say hi, Mason.
Hi, Mason. Hi.
He has been so looking forward to you coming on, Joe. When are you going to be doing your live stream with your daughter? He's been saying. He's gone all shy now. Anyway, so I've done the talking now. They're all kicking off on Facebook. I don't care. But as I was explaining on here, if there's one family that doesn't have a hang-up about racism, it's certainly ours, isn't it? And who is politically incorrect sometimes?
You.
I know. They're always saying to me, "No, Mother, you can't say that." They're always saying that.
You're a nightmare, Mother. You're a nightmare. You should be called Jan Unleashed.
That's a good one, actually. I like that. Instead of Jan's World, I'll be Jan Unleashed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you haven't got anything to say about it, no?
No, not really, but I did spend half of it trying to log in and out and try and working out why I couldn't actually write anything.
Okay.
So I probably need bits and pieces.
Okay then, buds. No worries. Well, I'm going to go now because I've been on for an hour. So, I'll speak to you later, yeah?
All right, Mother, love you.
All right, love you too. Bye. Thanks, baby. Bye. There we are. That's done. Yeah, I like Jan Unleashed. And on that happy note, I'm going to say, look forward to Sunday. We'll have lots to talk about and have a giggle. How I enjoyed Oh McDonald's Had a Farm. I don't think she'll do a YouTube account, Mason, because she's already got one to do with work. Anyway, so I'm going to go, and thank you so much for your contributions. Hope you didn't mind me sounding off, and thanks for being there for me, guys. You're lovely. You really are lovely. You actually mean the world to me. So you have a good few days until the weekend. Take care of yourselves out there because it's horrid. And I'm fine. Don't be worrying about me. I am fine. Okay? You take care of yourselves. Bye-bye for now.